Good afternoon everyone. Today in this video we'll be seeing how to make this component. As you can see on the screen, there are two views provided with the detail view. First, let us understand that this is a third angle projection. If it's a third angle projection, considering this as my front view, this will be the top view. There is a small detail view provided for us for the detail of the fins. So we can make the fins with better understanding with a separate detail view. Now, this model is a simple part module. It's a very simple 3D model. So we'll be using a part modeling module and work on the same. Now, under your start, under mechanical design, we have part design. So we'll begin making this model using part design in CATIA as the CAD tool. Now, first, there is a small cylindrical body which is a 110 diameter. Up after that, there is a small square body. As you can see on the top view, the length of the rectangle square is 140. This is a symbol for the square. Now, after that also there is a cylindrical body which is actually overall of 160, and then we'll be removing the material one after the other. So let us begin by making the small cylindrical component which is on the bottom face. Now, I'd like to use the shaft command to do so. You can also use pad. I'll take it below the axis and give the dimensions mentioned in the drawing. Supposed to be 110 and this is supposed to be 30. Now, on this cylindrical body, there is a square which is of 140. So let's try to add that as well. And now that particular body is added up to 15. So I'm trying to add that to 15. Now, continuing on the top body, the cylindrical body, I'd like to make 160 cylindrical body and then start removing material one after the other. As you can see, I'm trying to show it to you on the screen with less scroll movement. So let's try to do that by using our shaft. This is an easier way of doing it. You can, of course, you can also use pad to do so. Taking a rectangle. If you're using a pad, it's a little hard to maintain 220 as the dimension. So you can take a plane from this base and create an offset plane to 220 so it won't disturb the dimensions as shown in the drawing. It is better to maintain all the dimensions which are provided in the drawing as a better design engineer practice. This is my 160. Now, the body actually is a slanted body, as you can see. So the bottom face is having 150 and the top face is having 160. So first let me try to cut that 150 and then start removing the material for further process. So for that I'll be using a groove command to remove the material. Let me cancel and start again. Using this as my reference. These two also are my references. Now I'm trying to close the body this way. And give the dimension as 150. This will be your slanted body. I can actually show you the front view. This is your slanted body. Now, let us start removing the material. I'd like to remove the material from the top first, as in I'd like to remove this face first, as you can see. So in the same way, I'll be using a groove command. Most of it to maintain the dimensions, I'll be using the references. References as in I'll be using construction elements so I can maintain the dimensions as per the drawing. Now, to create this shape, let me try to project the cylindrical body as well. Now, to maintain this shape, I'd like to make this sketch as you can see on the screen. This is a slanted face. Now, we know that the end of this to the end of this is 2. So let me try to give that dimension from the end of this to end of this is actually supposed to be 2. Now, we know that the diametrical dimension is 115 with the inner cut. Let's try to give that as well. This is 115. And the overall length of the body is actually 4. So let's try to give that 2 over here. Stay, it's supposed to be 4. This particular cylindrical cut is 4. The overall distance is 8. So this is actually 4. I'm trying to remove the material as you can see. Now, continuing with the next cut, I need to maintain this 4 as well as the 4 below and then maintain 15. Let us see how to do that by using the references. Again, I'm selecting the cylindrical body and I'm selecting the axes as well as the ends of my cylindrical option. Now, let's try to make that shape first. The shape is actually like this on a slanted face. Now, since we know it is supposed to maintain 4 and 4 and 15, it should maintain 4 from here. So, let me take the length of this line to be 4. The same 4 is supposed to be maintained on the bottom side as well. So, I'd like to maintain that too and take this dimension to be 4 as well. Now, we know that the dimension from center to center is 15. So, I'll take few points over here so they're located at the center. Same way, I'll do it on this one as well. Now, the dimension between this particular center of the line to this particular center of the line is supposed to be 15. Now, we know the two dimensions which are already given to us, as in we have the shape like this. Let us try to give the 2 mm dimension as well. This is supposed to be 2. Similarly, on the downside, this point to this point is also supposed to be 2. This is my dimension. Now I also have the diameter which is supposed to be 115. So let me try to take the 115 as well. This will constrain the sketch. Now I have given center to center, I have given 4 and the overall 2s I have given, which follows for all the fins towards the bottom side. So once I exit, this is removing of material. Since it follows the same thing, let's try to give pattern for this groove in the below direction, considering this way. Let me flip it. I want 6 of them with a certain distance, which is 15 plus 4. Overall is 19. So let me try to give 19 with 6 fins. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So once I say OK, it gives 6 fins this way. Now, of course, we have to remove the last one, which is this shape. So let's try to remove that using our groove command itself. I am using this as my reference first, and then of course the bottom face too. Let me take the bottom face as well, and the ends of the cylinder. Now the same process we are supposed to follow here is the 4 mm dimension and the slant, and the material is cutting this way, which I am trying to remove is this material. Now, let me try to give the constraints and then start. Okay. Now, this is supposed to be 115, even this is 115, so I'll use that as the reference and then keep them in line with each other, which is actually a better option. and then the distance, the overall distance from here to this end point is similar to what we have done, which is 4, and the distance from here to here is actually supposed to be 2. I'm trying to remove this with respect to the center axis. I already have an axis, so I'm selecting the axis. This is your internal cut. Now, the remaining part of the body is actually very simple, but let us do one after the other. I'd like to add this body first on this face. So let me try to use pad for the addition of material. Let me flip the side because I'm doing it on the opposite side. I would like to use this as my reference and then start making my sketches. Now, since the profile is actually starting from an angle, I'd like to use the angle first, give the dimensions and then proceed with the arc. So this is supposed to be 45. From here, let me try to take the arc and then another arc, of course, from the center to close this and give the dimensions for the same. This is 15. Let me try to maintain concentricity. I don't think it has taken it well. Okay. Now, this particular body is actually added to till the end of the fit. So I can just directly select the surface and then say added up till here. You can again use your pattern to create 4 sides. So I'm just using a complete crown. Say I want 4. In what direction would you like it? See, as per this, it is supposed to be done this way, which is my Z axis. So I will choose the Z axis. These are your 4 fins. There are few holes which are also provided. This is M12 hole, which is depth of 30. So I can use a simple hole command to do so as well. Again, selecting that. Let me try to first give the constraints and then proceed with the dimensioning. Now, since I want an M10 hole, I would require a threaded option with a different standard. I need M12, so I'm choosing M12. It's not specifically mentioned which one, so I can choose M12 into 1, or I can use thick pitch and also do it. M12 is fine that way. Now, the thread depth is already decided. The overall depth of the body is actually 30, of the hole is actually 30, so I'll give it up to 30. Now, the same thing again has to be patterned. You can use pattern. It requires 4. With respect to the Z axis, say OK. It patterns through all the 4 sides. There are 4 holes on this body as well. I'd like to give a user pattern for this 4 into 12 because there are certain dimensions provided to me for the same. So I can first make a sketch and then start giving the dimensions. For instance, I'm placing the body here, the point there, and I have a dimension from this edge to this is supposed to be 18. Now, I can mirror this as many times I want. So I'm just trying to mirror it onto the other side and then mirroring it onto the other side. Now we know that the distance between these two is actually 104. Once I exit, you will have 4 points. Any point you can use to give the feature, and then it will continue to do so on all the points which we have sketched. It's not a threaded hole. It's a simple hole and with up to next and dia of 12. This is the dia of 12. So once I say OK, it does that. Again, I'm trying to use a user pattern. Select the pattern points which I already have and then say OK, it tries to give the pattern. Now, as you can see in the section view, there is a small internal cut which we are supposed to make. So I'm trying to use the group command to do so. As taking the same center axis, I can project the axis of course, and then I can use my references as I like, which is the top face as well as the bottom face. Now, to make the sketch, I have the shape to be this way, and then go straight up till the end of the body and then close it. The sketch should be closed while performing your groove or your shaft command. It's a mandatory condition. This is supposed to be 100 and the inner whatever the line is supposed to be 94. These dimensions are provided actually in the drawing, which is 194. The depth of this internal cut is 10 mm, so I'd like to give that as 10 mm. Exit. It tries to remove the material from the inner side. Now we have few rounds left to be given. So let me start with this. These four are supposed to be 15. So I'd like to give these as 15 and say okay. These are my 15 rounds. Apart from this, there are few rounds on these as well, which are actually supposed to be 2, and there's one which is here, which is supposed to be 5. So let me give the 5 and then slowly make my way up to give 2s. I have a lot of 2s to give. So giving it one after the other. These are all which are supposed to have 2 mm as the rounds. This is your final model. If you want, you can also check the section view. I can show you the dynamic section view and show you the front view as well. This is your front view, which matches with the view here. If you have any query related to CATIA, or if you want to learn further more about part modeling or advanced part modeling, or if you want to learn any advanced level of CAD software, please feel free to contact us. Our details are given in the description below. Also like and subscribe to our channel so it gives us a little motivation to make more videos like these for your better understanding. Thank you.